I've been learning a little about Eastern European culture lately.
That's interesting. What caught your attention first?
Probably the food and the family traditions.
Those are a big part of daily life in many places.
Yes, they seem very connected to identity. Is family usually very important in Eastern European culture?
Yes, in many families it is extremely important.
I noticed people often stay close to relatives.
That's true, especially with parents and grandparents.
I really like that sense of connection. I've heard meals are a big deal in many Eastern European homes.
Yes, meals are often more than just food.
More like time to sit, talk, and be together?
Exactly. Food and conversation usually go together.
That sounds warm and inviting. What kind of food is common in Eastern Europe?
It depends on the country, but soups, breads, dumplings, potatoes, and meat are common in many places.
That sounds hearty.
Yes, a lot of traditional food is very filling and comforting.
I'd love to try more of it. I noticed that bread seems very important in many Eastern European cultures.
Yes, bread is often treated with a lot of respect.
More than just a side dish?
Definitely. It can carry cultural and emotional meaning too.
That's really interesting. Are grandparents usually involved in family life a lot?
Very often, yes.
I've heard they sometimes help raise the children too.
In many families, that's true.
That creates a strong family bond. I've seen people mention hospitality a lot.
Hospitality is very important in many Eastern European homes.
So guests are treated generously?
Usually yes, with food, tea, coffee, and a lot of care.
That's a beautiful tradition. Do people really insist that guests eat more?
Very often, yes.
Even if the guest says they're full?
Sometimes especially then.
That actually sounds familiar in a funny way. I've noticed that many Eastern European cultures seem proud of their traditions.
Yes, tradition often matters a lot.
Is that because of history too?
History is definitely part of it.
That makes sense. Are holidays usually celebrated with big family gatherings?
In many families, yes.
So food, relatives, and long visits?
Exactly, and sometimes very specific customs too.
I like how meaningful that sounds. I heard that toasts are important at some Eastern European dinners.
Yes, in many places toasts are taken seriously.
Not just quick and casual?
Often they are thoughtful and emotional.
That adds something special to the meal. Do people tend to be more formal at first?
Sometimes, yes.
But warmer once they know you?
Exactly. It can take a little time at first.
That's good to know. I've heard that Eastern European people can seem serious at first.
That stereotype exists, yes.
Is it because people are more reserved with strangers?
Often that's part of it.
That doesn't mean they're unfriendly though. What's one thing people misunderstand about Eastern European culture?
Sometimes they treat it like one single culture.
But there are many countries and differences, right?
Exactly, with different languages, histories, and customs.
That's an important point. Is music important in Eastern European culture?
Very much so.
Traditional music too?
Yes, traditional music, folk songs, and dancing can all be important.
I'd love to hear more of that. I watched a video of an Eastern European wedding. It looked intense.
Weddings can be very lively and emotional.
There was so much dancing.
That's very common in many places.
It looked like a real celebration. Are folk traditions still alive, or mostly just historical now?
In some places they're still very alive.
Through festivals and holidays?
Yes, and also through family customs.
That's nice to hear. I've heard Eastern European soups are amazing.
They really can be.
What makes them so special?
A lot of them are homemade, rich in flavor, and tied to family recipes.
Homemade food always feels different. Is tea or coffee more common in Eastern European homes?
It depends on the country and the family.
So both can be important?
Yes, very much.
I guess hospitality matters more than the exact drink. I noticed that many people talk about preserving language and culture.
Yes, language can be a very strong part of identity.
Especially for families living abroad?
Definitely. Many parents want their children to keep the language.
That makes a lot of sense. Do people usually cook from scratch a lot?
In many traditional households, yes.
That probably takes a lot of time.
It does, but it's often part of family life and pride.
I respect that a lot. I tried pierogi recently and loved them.
That's a great start.
They were so simple but so good.
A lot of Eastern European food is like that.
Comfort food at its best. I've heard pickled vegetables are common.
Yes, very common in many places.
Is that mostly for flavor or tradition?
Both, and also because of older food preservation habits.
That history is really interesting. Do Eastern European parents tend to be strict?
Some do, but that depends on the family.
I hear people talk about discipline and high expectations.
That can be true in some households.
It probably comes from wanting children to succeed. Are education and hard work emphasized a lot?
Often, yes.
I've noticed many people speak very proudly about studying seriously.
Education is often seen as something very important.
I can understand that value. I love how many cultures have their own special holiday foods.
Eastern European cultures definitely have that too.
Food seems tied to memory.
Very much. Certain dishes immediately remind people of home.
That's beautiful. Is religion important in Eastern European culture?
In many places it has been historically important, though it varies a lot by country and by family.
So it's not the same everywhere?
Not at all.
That's good to remember. I've seen beautiful churches and photos from Eastern Europe.
Yes, religious architecture is a huge part of the region's visual history.
Some of them are stunning.
They really are, especially in old cities and villages.
I'd love to see them in person one day. Why do people often mention history when talking about Eastern Europe?
Because history shaped daily life, borders, identity, and even family stories.
So the past still feels close?
In many ways, yes.
That gives culture more depth. Is there a strong sense of local pride in different countries there?
Yes, often very strong.
So people identify not only with the country but also the region or city?
Exactly.
I always find that interesting. I've heard people say Eastern European humor can be dry.
It can be, yes.
Is sarcasm common?
In many places, yes, along with dark humor.
That actually sounds like my kind of humor. Are markets important in daily life?
In many places, yes.
Like open-air markets with fresh food?
Exactly, produce, cheese, bread, and local goods.
That sounds like a nice way to shop. I love the look of old Eastern European towns.
They often have a lot of character.
Cobblestone streets, old buildings, little squares.
Yes, many cities and towns have that atmosphere.
It feels very romantic. I've heard people say Eastern European mothers always want to feed everyone.
That stereotype exists for a reason.
So it's not completely wrong?
In many families, feeding people is definitely a form of love.
That's honestly very sweet. Are handmade traditions still valued?
Yes, in many families they are.
Like embroidery, crafts, and homemade decorations?
Exactly.
I love when culture stays alive through everyday things. I watched a folk dance performance from Eastern Europe.
Those dances can be very energetic.
The costumes were beautiful too.
Traditional costumes often carry regional meaning.
I didn't know that. Is winter an important part of cultural life there?
In many places, yes.
Maybe because winter shapes food, holidays, and daily routines?
Exactly.
Climate really does influence culture. I noticed that many traditional dishes seem practical.
Yes, a lot of them come from making the most of available ingredients.
So history and survival shape the cuisine?
Very much.
That makes food feel even more meaningful. Are village traditions different from city traditions?
Often, yes.
More traditional in villages maybe?
Sometimes, though cities also preserve traditions in their own way.
That's a good point. I've heard that hosting guests is taken very seriously.
Yes, many people want guests to feel comfortable and welcome.
So being a good host is part of family pride?
Exactly.
I really admire that. Is it common for families to keep old recipes?
Very common.
Passed down from grandmothers and mothers?
Yes, often that way.
Those recipes must carry so many memories. I love when food connects generations.
That happens a lot in Eastern European families.
One dish can remind people of childhood.
Exactly, or of a certain holiday or relative.
That's powerful. Are people usually direct in conversation?
Sometimes more direct than Americans expect.
So not rude, just more straightforward?
Exactly.
That kind of honesty can be refreshing. I've heard hospitality can include sending guests home with food.
Yes, that definitely happens.
That sounds so generous.
It's often a sign of care and affection.
I love that. Do many Eastern Europeans grow food at home?
In some places and families, yes.
Like gardens, fruit trees, and homemade preserves?
Exactly.
That sounds very connected to the land. I'm fascinated by how much culture lives inside everyday habits.
That's very true.
Sometimes it's not big festivals, just normal daily life.
Exactly, like food, greetings, family roles, and routines.
That's what makes culture feel real. I noticed that many Eastern European people living abroad still celebrate holidays in traditional ways.
Yes, that can be very important.
Maybe it helps keep a connection to home.
Definitely.
I understand that. Do people usually take pride in homemade alcohol too?
In some cultures and families, yes.
Like homemade wine or spirits?
Exactly.
That feels very traditional. Are cemeteries and remembering ancestors important culturally?
In many places, yes.
I've heard remembrance can be very meaningful.
It often is.
That shows a strong respect for family history. I saw photos of Easter traditions from Eastern Europe. They looked beautiful.
Easter can be very rich in symbolism and ritual in many countries there.
The decorations and foods looked so special.
Yes, many families put a lot of meaning into those details.
I'd love to learn more about that. Are there big differences between generations?
Yes, especially because of changing politics, migration, and modern life.
So grandparents and young adults may see the world differently?
Very much so.
That happens in many places, but the history there seems especially influential. I noticed many people from Eastern Europe are very proud of their language.
That's often true.
Even when the language is hard for outsiders to learn?
Yes, maybe even more so.
I respect that. I like how many traditional dishes seem connected to seasons.
Yes, seasonality has always mattered.
So people eat differently in winter and summer?
Often, yes.
That feels very natural. Are weddings usually long celebrations?
In many places, yes.
With a lot of food and music?
Definitely, and often dancing late into the night.
That sounds unforgettable. I've heard that being offered food is almost guaranteed when you visit someone.
In many homes, yes.
Even if you only stop by for a short time?
Often, yes.
That level of hospitality is amazing. Are there strong neighborhood communities in some places?
Yes, especially in smaller towns or older apartment communities.
So people know each other's business a little?
Sometimes more than a little.
That sounds both comforting and intense. I'm curious about Eastern European desserts.
There are many wonderful ones.
I've tried poppy seed pastries before.
Those are very traditional in some regions.
I really liked them. Why do people abroad sometimes keep old customs more strongly?
Because distance can make traditions feel even more precious.
So culture becomes something to protect?
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. I've heard some people value modesty and practicality a lot.
Yes, that can be part of the cultural mindset in some places.
Less showy and more grounded?
Exactly.
I like that. Is literature important in Eastern European culture?
Very much so.
Poetry too?
Yes, poetry, novels, and intellectual traditions can be very important.
That's something I'd like to explore more. I noticed that people sometimes joke about strict grandmothers.
Yes, that's a common theme.
But also loving grandmothers?
Very loving, often through food, care, and strong opinions.
That sounds very real. Do people usually dress up for family occasions?
Often, yes.
Even for small gatherings?
Sometimes. It depends on the family and the event.
I like that sense of occasion. I've seen beautiful painted eggs from Eastern Europe.
Yes, egg decorating is a strong tradition in some countries.
They look like works of art.
They really are.
I'd love to try making them. Is dancing something people still learn at weddings and parties?
In many families, yes.
Even younger people?
Often, yes, though it varies.
That's a fun way to keep culture alive. I've heard village festivals can be very colorful,
They can be.
with music, costumes, and traditional food.
Exactly.
That sounds wonderful. Do people usually take off shoes inside the house?
In many Eastern European homes, yes.
That's pretty common in some other cultures too.
Yes, it's practical and respectful.
Good to know. I love how much respect there seems to be for elders.
In many families, that's very important.
Even when younger generations think differently?
Yes, respect can still remain important.
That says a lot about family values. Is homemade jam really that common?
In some families, yes, very common.
Fruit preserves, pickles, and things like that?
Exactly.
That sounds delicious. I've noticed that some people from Eastern Europe seem very resilient.
History can shape that deeply.
So resilience becomes part of family culture too?
Often, yes.
That's powerful. Are names and naming traditions important?
They can be.
Like naming children after grandparents?
Yes, in some families that happens.
I like traditions like that. Is generosity a big value in the culture?
In many families, yes.
Especially toward guests?
Guests, family, and people in need.
That's beautiful. I'm trying to understand the difference between being reserved and being cold.
They're not the same thing.
Right, someone can be quiet but still kind.
Exactly.
That's important when learning about any culture. Are national costumes still worn today?
Usually for festivals, dances, weddings, or cultural events.
So not everyday life, but still meaningful?
Very meaningful.
I love that. I've heard a lot of people miss the taste of home when they move abroad.
Food is one of the strongest connections to home.
More than people expect sometimes.
Definitely.
I understand that. Is chess popular in some Eastern European cultures?
Yes, in some places intellectual games have been very respected.
That's interesting.
Chess, literature, and education can all carry cultural status.
I didn't know that. I love how many traditions involve making something by hand.
Yes, handmade things often have emotional value too.
They feel more personal.
Exactly.
That's what makes them special. Do neighbors usually visit each other casually?
In some towns and older communities, yes.
So social life can be close-knit?
Very much so.
That sounds nice. I've heard of people keeping a summer garden or countryside home.
Yes, that's a real tradition in some places.
To grow food and spend time with family?
Exactly.
That sounds lovely. Are there strong regional food differences?
Yes, definitely.
So one dish may be common in one place and rare in another?
Exactly.
That shows how diverse the region is. Why does Eastern European culture feel so layered?
Because many countries there carry deep histories, changing borders, and mixed influences.
So nothing is simple.
Usually not.
That makes it fascinating. I'm curious about how people celebrate name days.
In some countries, name days can be quite meaningful.
Almost like a second birthday?
In a way, yes.
That's such an interesting tradition. I noticed that people often speak proudly about local recipes.
Yes, food can be tied to local identity.
Even one village may have its own version of something.
Exactly.
I love details like that. Do many families keep old photographs and stories?
Yes, family memory can be very important.
Especially when history was difficult?
Definitely.
That makes family archives feel precious. I've heard some people say Eastern Europeans are blunt.
Sometimes people are simply more direct.
So it's not necessarily meant to offend?
Not usually.
Cultural context really matters. Is there a strong culture of offering guests tea, coffee, or sweets?
Yes, often all of the above.
Even if they say they don't want anything?
They may be asked again anyway.
That sounds very familiar to me. I like learning about how holidays are celebrated at home, not just officially.
Family traditions are often where culture feels most alive.
Exactly.
The small details matter a lot.
That's what I find most interesting. Are there cultural differences in how people show affection?
Yes, definitely.
Maybe less verbal sometimes and more practical?
In some families, yes.
Love through care and action. I've heard preserving food for winter use to be a major tradition.
Yes, and in some places it still is.
Like pickling, fermenting, and making jams?
Exactly.
That's such a practical tradition. Do people often return to their hometowns for holidays?
Very often, yes.
So even if they live far away, home still matters a lot?
Absolutely.
I find that very touching. I'm interested in the role of folklore in Eastern European culture.
Folklore can be very rich there.
Stories, myths, songs, and legends?
Yes, all of that.
I'd love to read more about it. Is there a strong connection between culture and nature?
In many places, yes.
Through farming, seasons, and countryside traditions?
Exactly.
That connection feels very grounding. I've heard many families expect guests to stay longer than they planned.
That can happen.
So a short visit becomes a whole evening?
Very easily.
Honestly, that sounds fun. Are traditional breads different from country to country?
Yes, definitely.
Dark breads, round breads, festive breads?
Exactly.
I'd love to do a full bread tour someday. I notice there's often a lot of emotional depth in the music.
Yes, music can carry sadness, pride, longing, and celebration all at once.
That's what I felt too.
It reflects history and daily life.
It really moved me. Do many people still speak regional dialects?
In some places, yes.
Is that part of local identity too?
Very much so.
Language always reveals so much. I've heard some people abroad miss not only the food, but the feeling of home gatherings.
Yes, the atmosphere matters as much as the recipes.
The table, the conversation, the relatives.
Exactly.
That's what makes culture emotional. Is there a strong tea culture in some Eastern European households?
Yes, in many homes tea is part of everyday hospitality.
With sweets or jam sometimes?
Exactly.
That sounds cozy. I've seen embroidery patterns from Eastern Europe, and they're gorgeous.
Many of them carry regional or symbolic meaning.
So they're not just decorative?
Often they're much more than that.
I love when art holds history. Are there strong traditions around New Year's celebrations?
Yes, in many places New Year's is a major celebration.
With food, gatherings, and staying up late?
Definitely.
Sounds festive. I've heard that homemade soups can almost be a love language.
In many families, yes.
Soup feels very personal.
It does, especially when it's made from an old family recipe.
That's so true. Is preserving culture harder for younger generations abroad?
It can be.
Because daily life is shaped by a different country?
Exactly, so families have to be intentional.
That takes effort. I like how many traditions seem practical, not just symbolic.
Yes, a lot of customs came from real daily needs.
Food preservation, seasonal cooking, close family support.
Exactly.
That makes them feel very grounded. Do people usually bring gifts when visiting someone's home?
Often yes, especially for a holiday or formal visit.
Like flowers, sweets, or something small?
Exactly.
I like that courtesy. I noticed Eastern European films often feel intense and thoughtful.
Cinema from the region can be very reflective.
Maybe because history is always close by.
That's often part of it.
I'd like to watch more. Is there a strong cafe culture in some cities?
In some places, yes.
So urban life can feel very social too?
Definitely.
That balance between tradition and city life is interesting. I've heard some cultures there value endurance and strength quietly.
Yes, resilience can be admired without a lot of dramatic language.
More like just doing what needs to be done?
Exactly.
That's a strong mindset. Are people usually proud of local folk costumes?
Very much so.
Even if they only wear them on special occasions?
Yes, because they represent heritage and place.
That makes sense. I love when grandparents tell stories from another era.
In Eastern European families, those stories can carry a lot of history.
Family memory becomes part of identity.
Exactly.
That feels very meaningful. Is sour cream really in a lot of dishes?
In many cuisines from the region, yes.
People were not exaggerating then.
Not at all.
I'm not complaining. I've heard some people from Eastern Europe miss the sense of community more than anything.
That can be true.
Not just the country itself, but the feeling of being known.
Exactly.
That's a powerful thing to miss. Are mushrooms important in the cuisine?
In many places, yes.
Fresh and dried?
Both.
I had no idea they were so central. Why do traditional songs feel so emotional?
Because they often carry history, longing, love, and loss.
You can hear that even without understanding the words.
Exactly.
Music is amazing that way. Is hospitality sometimes expressed through insisting a guest stay longer?
Yes, definitely.
Leaving too early might even seem strange?
In some homes, yes.
That's good to know. I've heard that winter holidays are especially meaningful.
In many cultures there, yes.
Maybe because of religion, family, and the season itself?
Exactly.
That makes them feel very rich. I like how many customs seem to blend joy and seriousness.
That's a good observation.
Celebration feels deep, not shallow.
Often yes.
I really appreciate that. Is there a tradition of making guests feel at home immediately?
In many households, yes.
Even if they are visiting for the first time?
Very often.
That's a lovely quality. I'm interested in how Eastern European identity changes from one country to another.
That's a very important question.
Because the label is broad, but the realities are different.
Exactly.
I want to remember that. Are handmade tablecloths and home decorations still used?
In some families, yes.
That sounds so charming.
It adds warmth and continuity to the home.
I love details like that. I've noticed that family recipes are sometimes treated almost like treasure.
They often are.
People protect them carefully.
Yes, because they hold memory and identity.
That makes perfect sense. I'm fascinated by how much meaning can live in one holiday meal.
That's true in many Eastern European traditions.
Every dish can symbolize something.
Exactly.
That makes the meal feel almost ceremonial. Are there still strong traditions around village bread ovens and homemade baking?
In some places, yes.
That sounds incredible.
Fresh bread has deep cultural meaning in many communities.
I'd love to experience that. I've heard people say Eastern European hospitality can feel overwhelming in a good way.
That's a funny but fair description.
Like too much food, too much kindness, too many offers.
Exactly.
I'd rather have that problem. Is preserving folk music still important to younger people?
In some communities, very much so.
Through dance groups and festivals?
Yes, and sometimes through family teaching too.
That's encouraging. I like that some traditions seem built around slowing down.
Yes, especially long meals and family visits.
Just sitting, talking, eating, and staying present.
Exactly.
We need more of that. Are there major differences between city and countryside accents?
In many countries, yes.
I always find that fascinating.
Accents can reveal region, background, and identity.
Language is so powerful. I've heard some people describe Eastern European homes as very cozy.
That can be true, especially in a traditional family setting.
Warm food, slippers, tea, and strong hospitality.
Exactly.
That sounds wonderful. Do people still sing together at gatherings sometimes?
In some families and communities, yes.
That feels so special.
It really is.
We've lost some of that in other places. I noticed that preserving old customs doesn't necessarily mean rejecting modern life.
Exactly.
People can live modern lives and still value tradition.
Very much so.
I think that balance is beautiful. Is soup really a daily thing for some families?
In some homes, yes.
I love that idea.
Soup can be everyday comfort, not just a special dish.
That feels very homey. I'm curious about how migration has changed Eastern European culture abroad.
It has created a lot of mixed identities and adapted traditions.
So culture stays alive, but changes too?
Exactly.
That's really interesting. Do people often keep traditional decorations for holidays?
Yes, sometimes for decades.
I love when objects carry memory.
They often become part of the ritual itself.
That's beautiful. I've heard that practical gifts are appreciated in some families.
Yes, practicality can definitely be valued.
So not everything has to be flashy.
Exactly.
I like that mindset. Are dumplings common in many Eastern European cuisines?
Yes, though they vary a lot by country and region.
Sweet ones and savory ones?
Exactly.
I need to try more of them. I think one of the most attractive things is the sense of depth.
What do you mean?
The food, music, family life, and history all feel layered.
That's a very good way to put it.
That's what draws me in. Do you think outsiders sometimes romanticize Eastern Europe too much?
Sometimes, yes.
By focusing only on aesthetics and forgetting the complexity?
Exactly.
That's worth remembering. I'm trying to learn respectfully without reducing everything to stereotypes.
That's the right approach.
I want to appreciate similarities and differences.
That matters a lot.
I'm glad. Are folk festivals a good place to learn culture?
They can be, especially for music, dress, dance, and food.
Even if they only show one side of it?
Yes, as long as you remember culture is also everyday life.
That makes sense. I've heard that table manners and hosting manners can be taken seriously.
In some homes, definitely.
So being polite as a guest really matters?
Yes, it shows respect.
Good to know. I love when a culture values both beauty and practicality.
That's a nice observation.
I feel that in the food, crafts, and homes.
Yes, that balance shows up in many ways.
That's part of the appeal for me. Are there strong traditions around Sunday family meals?
In many families, yes.
That weekly gathering must mean a lot.
It often does.
I really like that. I noticed some people speak with pride about surviving difficult times.
History left strong marks on many families.
So resilience becomes part of identity.
Exactly.
That's very moving. Is folk art still appreciated by younger generations?
In some places, yes, especially when tied to identity and heritage.
That's good to hear.
It can also be revived in modern ways.
I love that idea. I think food is the easiest way into learning a culture.
It's definitely one of the best ways.
Because it's daily, emotional, and social.
Exactly.
That's why I always start there. Are there special traditions around Christmas Eve in some Eastern European cultures?
Yes, in many places Christmas Eve is especially meaningful.
With symbolic dishes and rituals?
Exactly.
I'd love to learn those details. I'm drawn to how personal the traditions feel.
That's true.
Not just national, but family-specific too.
Yes, each family often has its own version.
That makes it even more interesting. I think people sometimes forget that Eastern Europe includes both beauty and hardship.
That's very true.
Culture isn't just pretty images.
No, it comes from real history and lived experience.
Exactly. I'd love to attend a family holiday in an Eastern European home someday.
That would probably teach you a lot very quickly.
I can imagine.
Food, conversation, tradition, and a lot of emotion.
That sounds unforgettable. I really admire how traditions can survive migration and time.
Yes, that takes intention.
Especially through language, cooking, and family gatherings.
Exactly.
That kind of continuity is powerful. What's one respectful way to learn more about Eastern European culture?
Listen to people from specific countries, learn the differences, and stay curious without assuming it's all the same.
That's really good advice.
Food, music, literature, and history are all good doors in.
I'll remember that. So what's the best first step if I want to understand Eastern European culture better?
Start by learning about one country or community at a time instead of treating the whole region as one thing.
That makes sense.
Then explore its food, history, music, family traditions, and everyday life through real people and real stories.
That sounds like the right way to begin.